Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Physics Surgery. Here we are finally with the part 3 of our trilogy of videos on the effect of intensity due to Doppler effect, the famous and tough question in Pathfinder textbook. Okay, so in case you have not watched through the first and second parts, I would request you to pause this video here, go to the links in the description for the first two parts, because the life would be a lot easier for you in case you actually go through those videos to come back to the solution of this particular part of the problem. So here is the problem for the uninitiated, that we are looking at the part C of a one-dimensional Doppler effect in which both source and observer are moving towards each other with a velocity Vs for the source and Vd for the detector. And we have considered the source to be a point isotropic source of constant power P. Okay, so he's requesting us to calculate the intensity received by the detector at an instant when its distance is r from the source. So in terms of these parameters, he's expecting us to write the expression. Okay, so we'll move on to, so in case you want to give it a try, as usual, just pause the video here, try it for 4-5 minutes and then come back to the solution. Okay, all right. So we have drawn the diagram here. So the language that I have used here, we would be using from the borrowed language of what we derived in the part A and part B. Okay, so I'll try to be slightly more quicker in this particular video, taking advantage of your acquaintance with that knowledge. Okay, so the thing is, in this particular figure, the source is, let's say, at S naught at t equal to 0 and is moving towards right. Okay, so let me mark that arrow so that you are not confused about the direction of motion. So this, I am saying, is the direction of motion of the source towards right. So after t seconds, let's say it approaches this particular position at some point S. Okay, right. So in t seconds, it would have moved a distance of a very simple Vs into t, right? And at that instant, the wavefront that it has already emitted out, okay, at t equal to 0, one wavefront would have come out with a certain thickness, and that wavefront would have traveled to this position. Since the sound is traveling faster, the radius of that wavefront would be c times t. Okay, so this is the wavefront that was emitted at t equal to 0, now has grown this big, and by the time it has grown, the source has come closer to the observer. Okay, right. So at a distance r, this r is the term we need in the final expression. And at the same instant, there is one more fun thing here, that the observer himself is moving towards the source with a velocity of his own Vd. Okay, and you remember something about the gap that I already spoke of in part B, this gap in which the energy would be there, right? So let me label that or shade that gap for you. This particular gap that we are looking at would be of value C minus Vs into dt, as explained in the part B of the video. Okay, so this C minus Vs into dt would contain the energy that was emitted in dt seconds. So since the power of the source is P, the amount of energy would be P dt. Okay, so up till this point, the energy part is very clear. Another part, which is a geometry, as I have highlighted here, is this distance, which is r naught, nothing but ct, should be equal to this plus this. So I could write the value of this r in terms of c minus vs into t. So these are the geometric parts. So without much further ado, let me directly jump bravely into the intensity detected by this detector in its next period. Okay, so the value of that intensity, I would write it as I is equal to, right, intensity is nothing but energy it receives per unit area per unit time. So the energy that I am investigating here is the PDT, if you remember, right? So let me write that PDT. Over how much area is this spread? I think it is spread over the entire area on the diagram. Can you see this? This would be that entire area. So as expected, this would be 4 pi r naught square, not r square. It's an r naught square. And then we have to divide this entire thing with the time duration of detection. Okay, even though the energy was released in dt seconds, I don't think this time the observer will take that much time to detect it. Okay, because two things: the width of this detection is reduced, and also he himself has a velocity moving towards that, so he covers this path much faster or quicker as compared to what we had seen when he was at rest. So the time duration of this radial distance coverage time duration, I'll write it in the denominator here. Okay, so what would that be? As you know that the wavefront would be moving towards right with the velocity of sound c, and he himself, the observer, is moving towards left with the velocity vd. Therefore the relative velocity would be responsible for covering this distance. So I'll write distance by time in the denominator. So the distance that I'm taking into account is c minus vs into dt, and then we divide it with the relative speed with which the distance gets covered. Okay, so that would be simply the value of c plus vd, c plus vd. Okay, so that's it, that's the expression. Only thing now we have to manipulate and pluck out that r naught and somehow place r. Okay, so let me make some formal cancellations here. So dt is done, and since I already know that I am here desperately in need of that r square in yellow, so I'll write and eliminate that r square. Okay, so you would have to fight it out with r naught square, and rest of the c minus this entire thing gets flipped over, and you end up having this expression. So c plus vd divided by c minus vs. Okay, right. Now we'll go back to this top expression here. You could see r is c minus vs into t, and r naught in the diagram, look at the bottom left of your screen, r naught is ct. That ratio therefore cancels out in terms of another velocity ratio, which would be p by 4 pi, that r square as it is, and then that would yield c minus vs whole square divided by c square, and the rest of the thing I'll keep writing as it is from the previous step. This is c minus vs, so which gives you that magical expression in the final answer. So because you could see that this square term gets cancelled with this, and you could bring c to one of these expressions. So we'll have p by 4 pi r square into 1 minus vs divided by c multiplied by 1 plus vd divided by c. Right, so this is the way we go ahead in proving what was requested in that particular book. Okay, right. So this is it. This finishes all the three parts. Okay, so just I would like to ensure that you not just understood the solution of the three-part problem, but also understood the concept of how intensity detection is done. So for that, to test your understanding, this is going to be the question for our next video, which I have made, and small changes I have made because the wavefronts in the previous question were spherical in nature. So I have changed this question to a planar wavefronts. So please go through this question, try it out, and try to post your answers in the comments section below. And in order to not miss out on any of the updates, please make sure you press the notification icon there. And in case you have loved these videos, right, and you got something out of it, please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Okay, thank you, and see you again in the next video.